If wherever you charge your devices looks like a charger graveyard, one brick for your mirrorless, one for your drone, one for your action cam, one for your phone.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
I think I have found something to replace this mess. And this is the Sabrent Voltik 252W 8-port USB charging station. This charging station can push 100 watts to a single USB-C port, and you can monitor the power draw on all 8 of those ports at the same time. And the great thing is it's UL certified, so you're not risking your expensive gear on a cheap charger that you found online. So if you're like me, you probably have a lot of devices where you don't necessarily need a conventional surge bar or even a conventional outlet. A lot of devices these days can be charged with a cable that originates as a USB-A or USB-C cable. For instance, my MacBook Pro, I don't even need a wall outlet for that. One end is USB-C or Thunderbolt if you want to use Apple terminology, and the other end is MagSafe 3. I can plug this into this USB power station, and it's going to successfully charge my MacBook, which is something that sets this one apart from a lot of others, and that is the wattage available. So there are 252 watts total available, but on a lot of USB charging stations, you cannot max out 100 watts on a single port. But on this one, any one of those USB-C ports can draw up to 100 watts when it's needed. So that's where I have found the Sabrent one to be particularly useful, because I ran into that problem with a lot of other ones that I've tested over the years. But in addition, you've got 4 of those USB-A ports, and those ports are ones where you probably don't need as much power. And the way I like to use these ports is I like to use these when charging my action cameras, because a lot of those action cameras, they can still fast charge with about 18 watts of power. And that just happens to be what each of these USB-A ports max out at. Each of them can max out at 18 watts. So if I want to plug in my Pocket 4, my GoPro Mission 1 Pro, my Insta360 X5, my Insta360 Ace Pro 2, my DJI Osmo Action 6, it's super useful for charging those, because a lot of the time in the past I could only charge one at a time. But with this charging station, I can have those shorter USB cables on there. I don't have to have the really long ones. So I typically find myself using the cables like this one right here. This one, I don't know the exact length of it, but it's probably about 18 inches. So the cool thing is you can have nice short ones as long as they can support the needed wattage. You don't have to have those 10-foot USB cables reaching to some outlet far away. Everything you need is right there close by. I mentioned the fast charging support, and this does support fast charging, but it also supports the PPS protocol, which is the programmable power supply, and it supports QC3 and QC4. And like I mentioned at the beginning, that LCD display is really nice because you can see the status for each and every USB port. A lot of chargers, you don't have that ability, so you're wondering, okay, how much power is this actually pushing through to whatever I'm charging? Is it actually charging? How do I know it's working? And even better, if you want to really dig into the details, you can actually cycle through each port. You can see real-time wattage, voltage, amperage, and the internal temperature per port. So if you're a power nerd like me, I like to see those details, and sometimes those details matter with specific use cases, so you can just toggle through those and check all of that as you wish to. And in addition to being UL certified, which is really important, this charging station also has overcharge protection, overcurrent protection, overheating protection, and short circuit protection. So those are all good safeguards to have, especially if you travel with this too. You don't always know the quality of the power you're getting depending on where you're plugging it in if you're not at your normal home location. So I appreciate all those protections, especially when I'm plugging in my MacBook or my drones, things like that that cost quite a bit of money. I want to know that this is not going to damage those. And the other nice thing about it is the compact form factor. So if I do want to travel with this, it doesn't take up much space at all. I'd bring along 8 or so USB cables, and then of course the power cable where it plugs in. So when I checked on this a couple days ago, this charging station is actually on sale right now. So I'm going to link to this in the description below if you want to check it out. And Sabrent has been willing to partner with me to offer a discount, so I'm going to include that code in the description as well. so that you can get a discount even if it's not on sale. And if you'd like to learn more about other cool gadgets like this one, check out this playlist right here.